Hello everyone to Think Global Education Services SAT Math class. Guys, the topic for today's discussion is inequalities. Okay, so we'll be discussing inequalities. Now for inequalities, there are three basic aspects that you need to understand in your SAT. So we will be discussing all those three aspects and then we'll take a couple of examples to understand how do we solve the real-time questions on inequalities. So let's start guys with the first aspect. That's a very basic aspect. So for example, if I say x greater than y. So let's suppose 3 is greater than 2. Now guys, if I add a constant on both the sides, let's say that constant is plus 1. So if I add a constant on both the sides, will the inequality change? No. The inequality still remains the same. That is 4 greater than 3. So the inequality still holds true. So if I add a constant, the inequality does not change. Similarly, if I try to subtract a constant on both the sides. So let's say if I try to subtract a negative 1. If I try to subtract a negative 1 on both the sides, what will happen to the inequality? Will the inequality change? So I'm subtracting 1 on both the sides. Do you realize the inequality still remains the same? That is 2 greater than 1. So the point that we understand here is if you add a constant, or if you subtract a constant, the inequality does not change. So I can say the inequality does not change. Okay. Similarly, if I try to multiply the inequality with a positive constant, so if I try to multiply the inequality with 2 on both the sides, so I'm multiplying with 2 on both the sides. So do you realize the inequality still remains the same? That is, it does not change. And similarly goes for division. So if I try to divide the inequality, let's say with 2 on both the sides. So if I try to divide this time with 2 on both the sides, the inequality still remains the same. So another point, that if you multiply or divide with positive constant, inequality does not change. So the crux till now is you add a constant, subtract a constant, inequality does not change. You multiply or divide with a positive constant, inequality does not change. But if you multiply or divide with a negative constant, so this time if I try to multiply this inequality with a negative 1 on both the sides, so if I try to multiply with negative 1 on both the sides, so do you realize this time this will become minus 3 and this will become minus 2, but minus 2 is greater than minus 3. So do you realize the inequality flips? That's a very important aspect. It's very easy, but a lot of students make very silly mistakes here. They multiply with the negative constant on both the sides, but they forget to flip the inequality. So whenever you multiply or divide with a negative constant, multiply or divide. Whenever you multiply or divide with a negative constant, remember to flip the inequality. The inequality always flip whenever you multiply or divide with a negative constant. So that's the very first basic aspect of inequality that student makes mistakes in. Okay. Now, guys, let's try to discuss the second aspect of inequality. So if I say, suppose the product of two terms is greater than 0. So what can I conclude regarding A and B? If the product of two terms is greater than 0, what I can understand is that A and B will definitely have same sign. So either both of them will be positive or both of them will be negative. And similarly goes for the division also. So if the product is greater than 0 or the division is greater than 0, what can I conclude regarding A and B? Same signs, either both of them positive or both of them negative. Similarly, if I say this time the product of two terms is less than 0, so A into B is less than 0, what can I conclude regarding A and B? They will definitely have different signs. Now, I really don't know that which one will have what sign, but they will definitely have different signs. So for example, if A is positive, then B has to be negative. Then B is negative. Similarly, if A is negative, then B is positive. So I really don't know which one will have what sign, but they will definitely have different signs for sure. Same goes for this also. If the division is less than 0, so we can say different signs. So this is the second very basic aspect that you should understand. If the product is greater than 0, same signs. If the product is less than 0, different signs. Now the third very basic aspect in inequality. So if I say AX is equal to BX, can I conclude that A is equal to B? Then most of you might say, of course we can. We can simply cancel X on both the sides and A will be equal to B. That's the first impression that we have whenever we see this kind of an expression, AX is equal to BX. We try to cancel X on both the sides and we get A is equal to B. Now there is a very silly mistake here. So guys, for example, if I say AX is equal to BX, and let's say that A is 2, and let's say that B is 3. But if X becomes 0, so do you realize the equation is still balanced, 0 is equal to 0, but A is not equal to B. So be careful guys, whenever we say AX is equal to BX, we cannot directly conclude that A will always be equal to B. So how do we actually solve it? Guys, make it a thumb rule, never cancel anything on both the sides. Don't do that. Never cancel anything on both the sides. You have to solve it by taking it on one side. So the correct way to solve it is AX minus BX is equal to 0. X will be common. A minus B is equal to 0. Now if the product of two terms is equal to 0, so either this is equal to 0. So I can say either A minus B is equal to 0, which will definitely mean A is equal to B. So I am not debating on the fact that A cannot be equal to B. A can very well be equal to B, but there's a big or. Or what can happen? X could be equal to 0. Now, if X becomes equal to 0, we really have no clue regarding A or B. No clue about A and B. They could be equal, they could not be equal. I really don't know. So there are two solutions for it. Either A will be equal to B or X will be equal to 0. So guys, this is the right way to solve any particular inequality. You'll take it on one side and then solve it. Stop cancelling anything on both the sides. That's a very basic mistake that a student does. So guys, I hope this is clear. These are the very basic three aspects of inequality that are tested. Now let's take few questions. Guys, the first question. It says if m and n are non-negative integers and m plus n is less than 21, what is the greatest possible value of n minus m? Okay, so let's focus on what do I need. I need that n minus m should be maximum or greatest. Now ask yourself, when will that happen? When will be the difference of two terms maximum? It will only happen when m is minimum and n is maximum. So if I really want the difference of two terms to be greatest, then m has to be minimum and n has to be maximum. Now, if I look at the question carefully, they are saying that m and n are non-negative integers. Now, guys, this word is very important, non-negative. Now, what do we mean by non-negative? So sometimes students says that non-negative actually means positive. No, not really. So guys, when I say positive integers, it starts from 1. So 1, 2, 3, they are all positive integers. Non-negative integer means that integers which are not negative. So that means you have to take 0 also, which is a neutral integer. It's neither positive nor negative. So when I say non-negative, that means neutral plus positive. So this is a very big hint. Whenever the question says non-negative, that means 0 will also be included. So remember guys, non-negative does not mean positive. So they are saying that m and n are non-negative integers. And I want m to be minimum. So what's the minimum non-negative integer? 0. So I have made m as 0. Now they are asking me about n. I want n to be maximum. They have already given me an inequality here. They are saying that m plus n is less than 21. So if I want n to be maximum, so again let's put m as 0. So 0 plus n is less than 21. So that means n is less than 21. Now what's the maximum possible value of n less than 21? So if I want it to be less than 21, the maximum possible integer is 20. So I'll put that value here. So the maximum value of n is 20. The minimum value of m is 0. And their difference will be 20, which is the maximum possible value. So what's the maximum possible value of n minus m? That's 20. So that's my answer. So guys, here you have to be very careful of this thing, non-negative integers. So generally students take the minimum value as 1, but that's wrong. So when I say non-negative, you have to consider 0. That's the very important part here. So I hope guys this question is clear. So let's move to one more question. Now guys, this is a multiple inequality. I can see there are two inequalities here. How many integer values of a are possible for the above inequality? So they simply want me to solve the inequality. So 7a plus 7 now, guys, the easier way to solve this is rather than solving both the inequalities together, you can just break them into two parts. So I know that 7a plus 7 will definitely be more than 14 and 7a plus 7 will also be less than 21. So I will solve both the inequalities separately and then I will club the result in the end. So let's solve this. Now how do we solve guys? I can subtract 7 on both the sides. So it will be 7a plus 7 minus 7 and 14 minus 7. So I can very well subtract 7 on both the sides. So that will give me 7a is greater than 7. Now I can divide both the sides with 7. So I can very well divide both the sides with 7. So it will become a will be greater than 1. So that's the first part. And let's solve the second part. So guys, here I can subtract 7 on both the sides. So I'm subtracting 7 on both the sides. So it will become 7a is less than 14. Then I can divide it with 7 on both the sides. So from here I will get that a will be less than 2. Now guys, if you combine the solutions, so let's try to draw a number line. This is 1 and this is 2. Now it simply says that a is greater than 1, okay, and it's also less than 2. So if something is more than 1 and smaller than 2, that means the common region will be between 1 and 2. So it's more than 1 and less than 2, that means it will always be between 1 and 2. Now they're simply asking me how many integer values of a are possible. So when I look at this, between 1 and 2, there are no integers. So I can clearly say between 1 and 2, there are 0 integers which are possible. And hence, my answer is option number A, which is 0. So guys, that's how you solve the inequality. So whenever you have multiple inequalities, it's better you break them into two parts and then solve each part separately and then club the result in the end. That's how you solve a particular inequality. Okay. So guys, I hope this question is clear. Now moving on to the next question. Now, guys, it's a word problem and you have to be good in reading the word problem and understanding and making an equation out of it. So let's try to make an equation out of it. It says a mobile manufacturer produces 500 units. Okay, so that's important. So we are manufacturing 500 units of a certain model each month. If the cost is $120 to produce a unit, okay, so for the cost for one unit is $120 and all of the product units are sold each month. Okay, what is the minimum selling price per unit? Minimum selling price per unit. This is what I need. That will ensure that the monthly profit on the sales of these units will be at least 40,000. Okay. So they have given me a condition. They are saying that they want the monthly profit to be at least 40,000. That means the profit should be greater than or equal to 40,000. That's the meaning of at least. Now we all know that profit is equal to what? Profit is given to me by the selling price minus the cost price. That's profit. Okay. So selling price minus the cost price has to be greater than equal to 40,000. Now they are asking what's the minimum selling price per unit. Okay. So let me say the selling price of one unit is X. Okay. And the cost price of one unit is also given to me. That's $120. So be careful guys. That's for one unit. But we are manufacturing 500 units. So the total profit will be on these 500 units. So I'll multiply this with 500. So which is actually greater than equal to 40,000. So if I solve this, 500x minus 5 into 12 is 60. So that will become 60,000 greater than equal to 40,000. So I can add 60,000 on both the sides. So 500x minus 60,000 plus 60,000, and here also I will add 60,000. So now from here I will get 500x is greater than equal to 100,000. Now guys, again x, I'll just divide 500 on both the sides. I can very well divide with a constant. So from here I'll get that x will be greater than equal to 200. So that's the value of x. Now they're asking me the minimum selling price. So if something is greater than equal to 200, the minimum value of x will be 200. So guys, I got the minimum selling price, which is 200. That's option number C. So you have to read the problem carefully and you have to understand the meaning of at least. At least you have to be careful that if the profit is at least, that means it has to be greater than or equal to 40,000. So guys, these are the basic aspects that we discussed. If you take care of those aspects, keep on adding, subtracting, multiplying with a positive constant, we are good. But if we multiply or divide with a negative constant, you have to flip the inequality. That's the first aspect. Second aspect, if the product is greater than 0, you know that you have to take same signs. If the product is less than 0, you have to take different signs. And if ax is equal to bx, never solve it by cancelling x on both the sides. Always take it on one side and then solve it. So guys, these are the basic fundas for inequalities. If you know these basic fundas, I hope you can handle any question in your SAT for inequalities. So guys, that's it from my end. I hope you enjoyed the video and learned something from it. Thank you guys.